the richest black wife in Nigeria. She secretly owns the country. You think Nigeria's billionaires and politicians control everything? Think again. The real power often lies in the hands of women whose names you rarely hear, black wives and leaders who quietly run billion-dollar empires while shaping the nation's future behind the scenes. They influence oil, banking, politics, and even global trade. Yet most Nigerians don't realize just how much authority they hold. Today we uncover the richest black wives in Nigeria, who some say secretly own the country. Stay tuned, hit that like button, and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence so you don't miss these untold stories. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. When people talk about power in Nigeria, they often focus on oil barons, military generals, or political dynasties. Yet one woman has consistently shaped the nation's financial destiny from behind the scenes and even extended her influence across the globe. That woman is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, an economist whose journey from a small town in Delta State to the pinnacle of international finance is nothing short of historic. Born in 1954 into a family that valued education and service, she was raised by a father who was both a professor and a traditional ruler, and a mother who taught sociology. Her early years were steeped in discipline, resilience, and an unwavering belief that knowledge could change nations. After excelling in school, she earned her degree in economics at Harvard University, followed by a PhD in regional economics and development from MIT. Her professional career began at the World Bank in 1982, where she rose over 25 years to become Managing Director of Operations, supervising an $81 billion portfolio covering Africa, South Asia, and beyond. Few Nigerians, let alone women, had ever commanded such global financial influence. But her story was only just beginning. In 2003, Nigeria called her home. As finance minister, she took on a system mired in corruption and debt. Through strategic negotiations with the Paris Club of Creditors, she secured an unprecedented $18 billion debt relief package, wiping away burdens that had strangled the economy for decades. She also introduced measures like oil price-based fiscal rules and transparent budgeting processes, which set a new standard for accountability. Her impact was so transformative that she returned for a second term in 2011, this time expanding her agenda with programs to empower youth and women and helping rebalance Nigeria's GDP to $510 billion, making it Africa's largest economy at the time. Now let me ask you, do you think a single individual can truly alter the future of an entire country, or does lasting change require a movement of millions? Her influence didn't stop at Nigeria's borders. In 2021, she broke yet another glass ceiling by becoming the first woman and first African to lead the World Trade Organization, WTO. In that role, she pushed for fairer global trade vaccine equity during the COVID-19 pandemic and reforms to help smaller economies thrive. Recognition has followed her everywhere. Forbes consistently ranks her among the world's most powerful women, and she serves on boards of global giants like Twitter and Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Financially, her wealth, estimated around $20 million, comes not from flamboyant businesses, but from decades of high-level public service advisory roles and international speaking engagements. She proves that influence isn't always measured by skyscrapers or oil fields. Sometimes it is built through credibility, intellect, and integrity. Today, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala embodies the idea that true power can remain subtle, quiet, and yet undeniable. She may not own oil wells or banks, but her decisions have shifted billions, lifted nations, and reshaped global trade. And in doing so, she has shown that Nigeria's richest wives and women can indeed secretly own the country, not with loud displays of wealth, but with wisdom, strategy, and vision. Folorunso Alakija. In the glittering world of Nigerian wealth, few names inspire both awe and curiosity, like Folorunso Alakija. She is more than a billionaire. She is a living testament to how persistence, timing, and courage can transform an ordinary beginning into an extraordinary legacy. Born on July 15, 1951, in Ikorodu, Lagos. State Alakija was raised in a sprawling household. Her father had multiple wives, and she grew up among more than 50 siblings. This environment, far from suffocating her, forged resilience and adaptability. After primary schooling in Nigeria, she continued her studies in the UK, where she developed both discipline and ambition. Her career began in the mid-1970s as a secretary at Sijuade Enterprises before she moved into banking at First National Bank of Chicago and the International Merchant Bank of Nigeria. Yet despite success in finance, she felt drawn to creative expression. In 1985, she enrolled in fashion design studies in London and returned home to launch Supreme Stitches, later rebranded as the Rose of Sharon House of Fashion. Her label quickly became the choice of Nigeria's elite, including First Lady Mariam Babangida, proving her ability to turn style into influence. But Alakija was never one to stop at a single triumph. In the early 1990s, she entered the male-dominated oil sector by securing a 617,000-acre oil prospecting license through her company Famfa Oil Limited. At the time, few believed a woman could succeed in such a cutthroat arena. Partnering with Texaco, now Chevron Famfa retained 60% equity, while Texaco held 40%. When the government later attempted to seize a large portion of this lucrative block, Alakija fought back in court and won. That legal battle cemented her status as one of the most formidable business figures on the continent. By 2014, Forbes listed her among the richest black women in the world with a fortune once estimated at over $2 billion, largely from oil revenues. She also owned significant real estate holdings and even a private jet, valued at around $46 million. Now here's something for you to consider. Do you think Alakija's rise was simply a matter of luck, or the result of relentless strategy and refusing to bow to pressure? Beyond wealth, Alakija has built a reputation for philanthropy. Through the Rose of Sharon Foundation, she supports widows and orphans with scholarships, housing, and financial aid. She also funds Christian ministries and health initiatives, believing that prosperity means little if it doesn't uplift others. Unlike many moguls who thrive on visibility, she maintains a relatively private lifestyle, allowing her actions to speak louder than words. Her story is a rare mix of elegance, grit, and financial genius. A seamstress who stitched her way into oil fields and a strategist who defended her empire against giants. Today, Folorunsho Alakija is not just a symbol of female success in Nigeria. She is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful hands are the ones nobody expected to hold the reins. Her journey makes the phrase "secretly owns the country" more than just a headline. It is the reality she carved one bold step at a time. Hajiya Bola Shagaya. In Nigeria's corridors of wealth, the name Hajiya Bola Shagaya commands respect and fascination. Unlike many who inherited privilege, she carved her path step by step, rising from modest beginnings to become one of Africa's wealthiest women, with an empire valued close to $950 million. Born in October 1959 in Ilorin, Kwara State, Bola was raised in a household where her father served as a public administrator and her mother worked as a seamstress. This blend of discipline and creativity shaped her character, instilling both resilience and resourcefulness. She attended Queen's School Ilorin before studying economics at Ahmadu Bello University Zaria and later pursuing accountancy at Armstrong College in California. Her early professional career started at the Central Bank of Nigeria in the audit department, but her ambitions stretched far beyond a stable government job. At just 24, she took the bold step of launching Bolmus International Limited, a company that introduced Konica photographic materials to Nigeria and West Africa. At a time when photography was expanding rapidly, she spotted an opportunity, and it paid off. In 1997, she further cemented her dominance in that industry by creating Photofair Nigeria Limited, a chain of photo processing laboratories that grew to over 30 branches nationwide. But Shagaya's business instinct did not stop at photography. She steadily diversified into real estate, oil banking, and communications. Through Balmus Group International, she accumulated prime property in Nigeria's most expensive districts, partnered with global institutions, and developed cross-continental investments reaching Europe and the United States. Her network extended deep into Nigeria's power circles, granting her access to opportunities others could only dream of. Now let me ask you, do you believe true wealth comes from spotting opportunities early, or from building powerful relationships that open doors? Her influence was recognized at the national level. In 2010, President Goodluck Jonathan awarded her the Member of the Order of the Niger MON, followed in 2012 by the National Productivity Order of Merit Award NPOM. These honors weren't just ceremonial, they reflected her impact on Nigeria's economic and entrepreneurial landscape. Despite her billionaire status, Shagaya often emphasizes humility and faith. A devout Muslim, she is known for her philanthropy supporting education, women, entrepreneurs, and community development initiatives. Many describe her as a silent powerhouse, someone who doesn't seek constant publicity, but ensures her presence is felt in boardrooms, government meetings, and international business forums. What makes her journey truly remarkable is the breadth of her empire. From photographs on film rolls to luxury high-rises in Lagos, from banking partnerships to petroleum deals, Hajiya Bola Shagaya exemplifies the ability to evolve with time. She remains proof that wealth creation is not a single breakthrough, but a continuous process of reinvention. Today, as one of Africa's most formidable businesswomen, Shagaya symbolizes both aspiration and achievement. Her story shows that influence does not always roar from the podium. It often whispers from behind the walls of power where fortunes are made and nations are shaped. Oluremi Tinubu. When people speak of Nigeria's political elite, they often focus on presidents and governors. Yet standing beside them, sometimes quietly, sometimes unmistakably visible, are women whose influence reshapes the nation in subtle but powerful ways. Among them, Oluremi Tinubu, widely known as Remi Tinubu, has emerged as one of the most enduring figures of Nigeria's democracy. Born on September 21, 1960, as the 12th of 13 children, Remi grew up in Ogun State and later earned her bachelor's degree in education from the University of Ife. She further pursued a national certificate in education and a postgraduate diploma from the Redeemed Christian Bible College, showing early on a combination of intellectual rigor and deep faith. Her public journey began in 1999 when her husband, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, became governor of Lagos State. As First Lady of Lagos, she established the New Era Foundation focusing on youth development, environmental health, and community service. What distinguished her was not just her title, but the way she carved her own initiatives separate from her husband's political shadow. By 2011, Remi had stepped directly into the political arena. She was elected as the senator representing Lagos Central, a position she held for 3 consecutive terms until 2023, an achievement that earned her a place in Nigeria's Women Hall of Fame. In the Senate, she was a strong advocate for education, youth empowerment, and institutional reforms. She sponsored bills to modernize the Nigerian Postal Service, supported constituency grants, and consistently pushed for grassroots development. Her recognition includes the Officer of the Order of the Niger U-On, the Ghana Noble International Award for Leadership, and the Gambian Diamond Award, among many others. These honors reflect both her political record and her commitment to service. But here's a question for you. Do you believe a First Lady should remain only a symbolic figure or step into active leadership roles like Remi Tinubu has done? In 2023, when Bola Tinubu became president of Nigeria, Remi assumed the role of First Lady of the Federal Republic. Unlike her predecessors, who often remained ceremonial, she quickly launched the Renewed Hope Initiative, a program that has already funneled over $20 million into health campaigns, disaster relief, tuberculosis eradication, and support for female traders. She is seen not just as a companion to the president, but as a leader in her own right, balancing political visibility with philanthropic passion. Her estimated net worth is around $500 million, much of it linked to family investments, real estate, and long-standing political connections. Yet she is often described as down-to-earth, leaning heavily on her Christian faith and humanitarian values rather than flaunting her wealth. Today, Oloremi Tinubu symbolizes a new version of power for Nigerian women in politics, one that blends resilience, faith, and direct action. Her journey shows that influence doesn't always come from holding the highest office. Sometimes it's in how you use your platform to impact lives and reshape society. Stella Odua. Nigeria has never been short of powerful women, but few combine royalty, business savvy, and political influence quite like Stella Adaeze Odua. Born on January 5, 1962 in Anambra State, into a royal family, she inherited a legacy of prestige, but chose not to live solely in her family's shadow. Instead, she set her sights on carving her own destiny across some of the country's most competitive industries. After completing her early education in Nigeria, Stella pursued a degree in accounting in the United States. Returning home, she began her professional career at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, the country's state oil giant. While many would have been satisfied with the prestige of such a role, Stella envisioned more. By 1992, she had founded her own oil and gas company, C Petroleum and Gas Company Limited (SPG). This venture quickly positioned her as one of the few women making waves in a male-dominated sector, earning both wealth and credibility. Her trajectory took a dramatic turn in 2011 when President Goodluck Jonathan appointed her Minister of Aviation. In this role, she spearheaded an ambitious project to renovate and modernize 22 airports across Nigeria, pushing infrastructure toward international standards. Despite facing political turbulence and criticism, her reforms left an indelible mark on the sector. Not one to fade into the background, Stella contested and won a seat in the Senate in 2015, representing Anambra North Senatorial District. She has since served multiple terms, strengthening her reputation as a resilient political operator. In the National Assembly, she has participated in committees that touch on key areas of national life, from infrastructure to economic development. Her wealth reflects her multifaceted career. Between her thriving oil business, lucrative public roles, and vast investments, Stella Odua's net worth is estimated at around $300 million. Beyond numbers, she symbolizes the fusion of entrepreneurial daring and political willpower. But let's pause for a moment. Do you think success in Nigeria comes more from bold entrepreneurship or from leveraging political connections at the right time? Stella's life has not been without controversy, yet her ability to withstand storms and reinvent herself is what fascinates observers. Where others see setbacks, she has consistently found opportunities to rebuild, reposition, and remain relevant in the national conversation. Today, Stella Odua represents a generation of Nigerian women who refuse to be boxed in by tradition. From her royal roots to corporate boardrooms, from oil fields to the Senate floor, she demonstrates that influence is not tied to one sphere of life, but can span across them all. She has shown that true power lies in adaptability, the courage to shift lanes, seize opportunities, and rise again no matter the obstacles. Aisha Buhari. In the history of Nigeria's first ladies, few have stepped beyond the traditional role of a quiet companion. Yet Aisha Halilu Buhari, wife of former President Muhammadu Buhari, transformed that position into a bold platform for advocacy and reform. Born on February 17, 1971, in Adamawa State, she hails from a distinguished lineage. Her grandfather was Nigeria's first Minister of Defense, and her father worked as a civil engineer. Growing up in such an environment instilled discipline, a sense of service and resilience that would define her public life. Aisha pursued a bachelor's degree in public administration from Ambrose Alley University, then obtained a master's in international affairs and strategic studies from the Nigerian Defense Academy. Unlike many who entered politics directly, she initially trained in beauty therapy and cosmetology in the UK and France, building diplomas that fueled a thriving business. Before her husband became president in 2015, she ran a successful enterprise in skin care and wellness. But when the presidency came calling, she set her private life aside to embrace public service. As First Lady from 2015 to 2023, she redefined the role with unprecedented visibility. She founded the Aisha Buhari Foundation, which built maternity wards, offered scholarships, provided vocational training, and organized medical outreach programs. Beyond philanthropy, she became known for her outspoken criticism of government shortcomings, even when it meant challenging her own husband's administration. This rare candor earned her admiration from ordinary Nigerians who saw her as a voice of truth in high places. Her advocacy extended to girls' education, women's empowerment, and campaigns against child marriage. She also drew attention to communities devastated by Boko Haram terrorism, ensuring aid reached displaced families. Internationally, she was recognized as one of Nigeria's most vocal female leaders, reshaping expectations of what a First Lady could be. Here's something for you to consider. Should the spouse of a president remain behind the scenes or use their influence to challenge power and push for change? Financially, Aisha Buhari is estimated to have a net worth of around $100 million, largely tied to family assets, property holdings, and her ventures before politics. Yet she rarely flaunted wealth, preferring to channel resources into initiatives that touched everyday lives. Her critics sometimes questioned her directness, but her supporters argued that her honesty distinguished her from the carefully scripted political elite. By the time she left office in 2023, Aisha had cemented herself as more than a First Lady. She had become a reformer, a critic, and an advocate. She demonstrated that women in Nigeria's highest offices don't need to be ornamental. They can be influential, outspoken, and transformative. Today, Aisha Buhari is remembered as the First Lady who refused silence. She showed the nation and the world that power is not only about holding an office, it is also about daring to speak when others remain quiet. Ibukun Awosika. In Nigeria's business landscape, where the glass ceiling has often seemed unbreakable, Ibukun Awosika carved her way through with vision, grit, and relentless drive. Born on December 24, 1962 in Ibadan, she grew up with an early passion for education and independence. She studied chemistry at Obafemi Awolowo University, but her ambitions quickly transcended laboratories and textbooks. Determined to acquire practical knowledge in leadership, she later attended the Lagos Business School, pursued executive training at IESE Business School in Barcelona, and completed the Global CEO program at Wharton in the United States. Her professional journey did not begin with immediate triumphs. After her national service, she tried different career paths, including accounting and trading, but soon realized she wasn't cut out for routine employment. She had the spirit of a builder. In 1989, she founded Quibees Limited, a furniture manufacturing company that later evolved into the Chair Center Group. What started as a modest idea grew into one of Nigeria's most recognized brands in interior solutions, demonstrating her ability to turn vision into sustainable business. By constantly reinventing herself and her company, Ibukun became a trailblazer. In 2015, she achieved a historic milestone as the first female chairperson of First Bank of Nigeria, the country's oldest and one of its largest financial institutions. This appointment shattered long-standing gender barriers and sent a clear message to young women across Africa. The boardroom was no longer a men-only domain. Her influence extended far beyond banking. She has served on the boards of global and national organizations, including Cadbury Nigeria, the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, and the African Leadership Initiative. Through these positions, she contributed to shaping policies, guiding investments, and mentoring the next generation of African leaders. But let's pause for a moment. Do you believe true leadership is about holding powerful titles or about inspiring others to think bigger and act bolder? Ibukun is also a prolific author sharing insights on faith, entrepreneurship, and resilience. Her books, including The Girl Entrepreneur and Business His Way, combine practical lessons with values-driven leadership, empowering countless readers across Africa. She frequently speaks at international forums, using her platform to advocate for women in business and ethical leadership and governance. Her wealth, estimated at $18.6 million, comes from decades of entrepreneurship, board service, and investments. Yet she often emphasizes that money has never been her ultimate goal. Rather, it is the impact she creates through innovation, mentorship, and philanthropy. Today, Ibukun Awosika stands as a role model for African women and men alike. She is proof that entrepreneurship, when guided by integrity and courage, can transform not just one person's life, but the trajectory of a whole generation. She may not command oil rigs or political dynasties, but in her own right, she has quietly built an empire of influence, credibility, and hope for the future of Nigeria. Mo Abudu. In a country where politics and oil often dominate the headlines, Mosunmola Abudu, better known as Mo Abudu, carved her empire in an entirely different way through the power of storytelling. Dubbed Africa's Oprah by international media, she has become one of the most influential women on the continent by reshaping how African stories are told and consumed. Born in September 1964 in London to Nigerian parents, Mo spent her early years in the UK before returning to Nigeria as a teenager. She studied human resources management at the University of Westminster and initially pursued a corporate career. In the late 1980s, she worked in recruitment in the UK, then returned home in 1993 to lead the HR and training division at ExxonMobil Nigeria. For many, that alone would have been a dream career, but for Mo, it was only a stepping stone. Her entrepreneurial spirit took shape when she launched Vic Lawrence & Associates, a human resources consulting firm. Yet her biggest breakthrough came from a different passion, the desire to spotlight African voices on a global stage. In the mid-2000s, she created the talk show Moments with Mo, which became Africa's first syndicated daily talk show. Covering topics from politics to lifestyle, it positioned her as a household name across the continent. By 2013, Mo went further, founding Ebony Life TV, a network that produced content for Africa and the diaspora. Later, she expanded into Ebony Life Media, which included films, creative academies, and even a luxury entertainment resort, Ebony Life Place. Her productions have included major box office hits like The Wedding Party, Chief Daddy, and the Netflix original Blood Sisters, which received global acclaim. These successes established her as not only a Nigerian powerhouse, but also a key figure in the international entertainment industry. At this point, let me ask you, do you think media has more power to shape a nation's image than politics or business? Her work has earned her recognition worldwide. She was listed among the 25 most powerful women in global television. Forbes Africa named her the first African woman to own a Pan-African TV channel, and in 2019, she chaired the International Emmy Awards Gala, a historic first for an African woman. Financially, Mo Abudu is worth tens of millions of dollars, with revenue streams from media productions, partnerships, and global distribution deals. Yet her true wealth lies in the cultural capital she has created, the ability to shift narratives about Africa from within. She is also a mentor, investing in training programs that nurture future African filmmakers and storytellers. What makes her story remarkable is that she didn't inherit influence. She built it frame by frame, show by show, in an environment where women often struggle to break into leadership. Mo Abudu not only entered the room but designed her own stage and spotlight. Today, Mo Abudu embodies the spirit of innovation and resilience. By telling Africa's stories with authenticity and excellence, she has shown the world that influence is not only about money or politics, it can also be about who controls the narrative. Daisy Danjuma. When you think of Nigerian women who have navigated the worlds of law, politics, and enterprise with equal mastery, Daisy Ehanayer Danjuma stands tall. She is not only the wife of General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, one of Nigeria's most influential retired military officers and oil magnates, but also a woman who has built her own legacy across different fields of national life. Born on August 6, 1952 in Benin City, Daisy pursued a law degree at Ahmadu Bello University, graduating in 1976. The following year, she was called to the Nigerian bar, officially beginning her legal career. Her early professional life included working as state counsel in Lagos State Ministry of Justice, and later she took roles in the private sector such as company secretary and legal advisor at Nigerian Television Authority (NTA). These experiences sharpened her skills in governance and corporate law, preparing her for the larger stage. In 2003, Daisy Danjuma made a bold entry into politics by contesting for a seat in the Senate representing Edo South Senatorial District. She won, becoming one of the few women in Nigeria's male-dominated legislature at the time. While in the Senate, she chaired the Women Affairs and Youth Development Committee and played active roles in committees on health education, finance, and land transport. Her leadership also extended beyond Nigeria, as she was part of the ECOWAS Parliament, where she championed women's and children's rights. After her term in the Senate, Daisy returned to the corporate world, becoming vice chairman of South Atlantic Petroleum Limited Sapetro, the oil company founded by her husband. She also served as chairperson of May and Baker Nigeria plc, a leading pharmaceutical company. Her ability to transition smoothly between politics, business, and philanthropy reflects her versatility and deep understanding of Nigeria's challenges. But let's stop here for a moment. Do you think political influence is more powerful when combined with business leadership, or should the two remain separate, beyond boardrooms and legislative halls? Daisy Danjuma has consistently engaged in philanthropy. She has supported causes in healthcare, youth empowerment, and education, leveraging her resources and networks to create opportunities for others. Known for her humility and approachable nature, she has often been described as someone who uplifts rather than overshadows, using her influence to open doors for those without privilege. Her estimated wealth runs into hundreds of millions of dollars drawn from oil investments, pharmaceutical leadership, and family holdings. Yet Daisy's reputation rests not just on her financial strength, but on her ability to navigate spaces where women are rarely seen and to succeed on her own terms. Today, Daisy Danjuma symbolizes a brand of leadership that blends intellect, service, and compassion. She shows that being married to power does not mean standing in the background. It can also mean forging a path where law, politics, and business intersect to create lasting impact. Stella Okoli. Among Nigeria's most influential businesswomen, Stella Chinyelu Okoli holds a special place. Her story is not only about wealth, but about resilience, vision, and a relentless determination to improve healthcare in a country long dependent on imports. Born in 1944 in Kano State to Igbo parents, Stella's childhood was defined by curiosity and discipline. After excelling in her early studies, she moved to the United Kingdom, where she earned a Bachelor of Pharmacy at Bradford University in 1969. She continued at Chelsea College, University of London, completing a master's degree in biopharmaceutics in 1971. Equipped with world-class education, she returned to Nigeria, ready to make her mark. Her professional path began in the pharmaceutical field, working at Middlesex Hospital in London, then at Boots Chemists and Pharma Deco in Nigeria. However, in 1977, she opened a small chemist shop in Lagos. That modest step revealed the cracks in Nigeria's healthcare system. Imported drugs were costly, unreliable, and fostered economic dependence. Stella realized that building a local pharmaceutical industry was not just a business opportunity, it was a mission. In 1984, she founded Emzor Pharmaceutical Industries Limited, using her father's house as collateral for a bank loan. What started as a humble factory producing paracetamol tablets grew into one of Nigeria's largest indigenous pharmaceutical companies. Today, Emzor manufactures over 120 products, from everyday painkillers to antibiotics and vitamins, and operates across more than 25 African countries, with offices in Liberia, Ghana, Mali, Sierra Leone, and even India. Stella's leadership turned Emzor into a household name. She also served on the board of Guarantee Trust Bank (GT Bank) as a non-executive director between 2010 and 2014, further cementing her role as a national business leader. Her accolades include the Member of the Order of the Niger Mun, the This Day, Women of Distinction Award, and the Silver Bird Lifetime Achievement Award. At the height of her career, Tragedy struck when she lost her son, Chaiki. Out of grief, she built the Chaiki Okoli Foundation in 2006, dedicated to raising awareness on cardiovascular health and entrepreneurship among young people. This foundation has since reached thousands, proving that her legacy extends beyond profits. Her estimated personal net worth surpasses $200 million, while Mzor itself is valued at over $80 million. Yet her true impact is measured in accessible medicines and jobs created for Nigerians. But here's a question for you. Do you think building a business is more fulfilling when it generates wealth or when it solves a problem for millions of people? Today, Stella Okoli remains one of Nigeria's most respected industrialists. She is proof that women can build empires in industries once dominated by men, and that success is not only about financial gain, but also about service to humanity. Her story is a reminder that sometimes the greatest form of power is the quiet determination to make life better for others. These women prove that true power in Nigeria isn't always loud. It's often exercised behind closed doors in boardrooms and through quiet influence that shapes the destiny of millions. From oil to banking politics to media, their wealth and vision challenge traditional notions of leadership. But here's the question. Does their influence uplift the nation or concentrate power in ways we may never fully see? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more stories that reveal hidden truths.